Welcome back, learners, to the second segment for today. Now we can take a closer look at the type of questions that are asked. I believe that when you know what sort of information a question is looking for, it is much easier to give the right answer. Of course, the easiest questions are the content or the factual questions. You will find these answers in the passage. You just need to look for them and then give the information that is needed. If you read the passage twice, as suggested earlier, you may even find that you know the answer as soon as you read the question. Remember to check the text though. You will notice that these sort of questions are usually asked early on, and they usually only count for a mark or two. The sort of question you could expect would be, how many people attended the concert? Or where did the concert take place? Or when did the writer leave? Now, notice that factual or content questions are simple questions like when, where, how many type of questions. Now, these basic questions will give you your first few marks. The next group of questions demand that you think a little more about the answer. These questions are called interpretive questions. Now, to interpret means to explain what something means or to say what its significance is. To answer these questions, you need to explain what has been said in the text, or you may need to come up with a conclusion based on what you have read. Now, these questions are a little bit harder, but they earn you more marks. You just need to think very carefully about what the text says and come to your own answer. An example of this sort of question would be, why do you think the writer felt unhappy when he heard the singer's song? Notice the word why. And notice also that you are asked why you think something. Remember, your answer must always come out of what the passage has said, either directly or indirectly. The final group of questions will be questions about the way in which the text has been written. They will include how and why the writer has used words, how the writer has used expressions and punctuation, the tone of the passage, and also the genre or the type of text that has been used. You will be asked to look at particular words that has been used, or asked to explain where you would expect to find a text like this one that you have read. Now, these questions are meant to check that you understand how a text is actually put together and show just how well you understand what you have read. These questions are most often right at the end of the passage. Whenever you answer questions, no matter what type they are, you must read the question very carefully and answer it as it has been asked. Now, let's look at some examples. Notice first that you have been told where to find the answer in paragraph 11. Now read the question to yourself. Did you notice that there are two parts to the question? The first part asks if you agree with someone's view, and the second part asks you to give a reason for your answer. Now, too often learners leave out the second half of a question. Has this ever happened to you as well? Here's another example of a question. Read it for yourself. How many times have you seen a question like this and written out the whole answer and not just the letter as asked? This not only wastes time, but it also shows the marker that you have not read very carefully. That is not the sort of impression that you want to leave. Now, I'd like you to look at this question. Which 4 words should you pay most attention to? Yes, you may not use more than 6 words in your answer. Notice they are even in capital letters, and yet so many learners write more than what they are actually allowed to write. Now it is up to you. I know that you're going to find answering comprehension questions easy when you put all this information into practice. So I would urge you then to find as many examples of comprehensions as you can and do them as tests. I'm sure you'll be able to find someone to help you check your answers. That's it for this segment. I'll be back with the third segment.